Well, hello there. And it's Miss Tasha again, only now I'm finally back in my purple. If you saw my one earlier, I was all in green because it was St. Patrick's Day. All right, now, this is very important. I have to do these stories in March because my theme today is Dr. Seuss, and then also a P.D. Eastman, which looks like Dr. Seuss, and it's a Cat in the Hat, which is also Dr. Seuss books. And then I'm going to end up, because you're going to get to dance, yay, yay! And of course you're going to get to do, I know you've done it before, but it's so much fun. From Sesame Street, you're going to do Shake a Leg. Okay. Well, I do want you to know about, oh, wait a minute. Of course, you know that I love purple. Da-da-da-da, purple, purple, yes. Even my clipboard is purple. And of course, what does Miss Tasha just love to eat?
I love chocolate.
Yes. And then, of course, Miss Tasha's wonderful voice that sometimes kind of gets you, doesn't it? All right. But I want to tell you about Dr. Seuss. And I'm going to go to one of my favorite books. And this, you guys, is all the way from 1940. And this was the 4th printing of this book. And my mother loved Dr. Seuss. And there is a picture of Dr. Seuss in 1989. He died in 1991. So, but that's Dr. Seuss. And and I am going to be very careful when I read that book. So he was 87 years old when he passed away, but he illustrated and wrote over 60 books, all that had rhyming and everything, and all these crazy, crazy characters like the Lorax. One book I'm going to read today is about the Zacks. I know, what can I say? And of course, Horton, of course. All right, here we go. All right, the first one I'm going to read is called The Alphabet Book. It's little, so I'm hoping you can see this. By P.D. Eastman. Its copyright is 1974. It was renewed in 2002. The new illustrations also in 2002 by Peter Anthony Eastman. That means the P.D. Eastman's son. And it's published by Penguin Random House. Are you ready? Okay, gotta move you over here, my cutie. All right, the Alphabet Book. Okay, ready? I want you, even though I can't see you, I want you to see if you can make it through the alphabet. Okay, ready? A. Those are American ants because they have the American flag. B. It's a bird on a what? Bike. C is a, I love this, a cow in a car. Really? Okay. D is a dog, notice, with a drum. E is an elephant. I don't think this could actually happen. On eggs, do you think the eggs would be full unless, even if they're hard-boiled, I think they would be, because they weigh a ton. F is a fox with a fish. Ooh, that fox is awfully big. G is a goose with a guitar. I know. Okay. I love this one. H is a horse on a house. Oh, really? Ooh, I is an infant. That means a baby. Okay, an infant. And he has how many? There's chocolate. He has 4 kinds of ice cream, but he has a chocolate one. J is a juggler with jack-o'-lanterns, like you make at Christmas, at Halloween. Oh, of course, you have to have a kangaroo for K. And they have keys, because remember they have those big pockets. Even the little baby one in the pocket has a key. L is a lion with a lamb. Oh, look at, he's winking. M is a mouse with a mask on. N are 9 in their nests. 9 little birdies in their nests. O is an octopus with oars. Look at, is he going to go anywhere? No, I don't think so, because I don't know. P, oh my gosh, are penguins with parachutes. Wow! Oh, of course, Q is a queen with a quarter. R is a rabbit on roller skates. Oh gosh. S is a skunk on a scooter. And T is a turtle on a typewriter, typing very slowly. U is an umpire with an umbrella so he doesn't get wet because they have to play in the rain maybe. V is a vulture, ooh, with a violin. Okay. W is a walrus with a wig. Have you ever seen a walrus with a wig? No. We're almost done. X is a xylophone for Xmas. That's the short for Christmas, but they had to come up with something. I mean, everyone does xylophone for X, but it's hard to find something, so they said Xmas instead of Christmas. Y is a yak with a yo-yo. And Z is a zebra with a zither. If you've ever seen and ever heard a zither being played. How about that? Very good. All right, I'm going to keep the little doggy hat thing on because I'm now going to read Big Dog, Little Dog by P.D. Eastman. Copyright is 1973. It was renewed in 2001. And it's illustrated again by his son, Peter Anthony Eastman. The publisher is the Penguin Random House. All right? This is Big Dog, Little Dog. Okay. Fred and Ted are best friends. Fred was big. Ted was little. When they walked in the rain, Fred was wet. Ha ha. And Ted was dry. Smart Ted, he had an umbrella. When they painted the house, Fred used green paint. Oh my gosh. And Ted used red. Okay, that's going to be a very interesting looking house. One day, Fred and Ted went away in their cars. Ted drove his red car fast, and Fred drove his green car slow. They came to a sign. Where should we go? Asked Fred. To the mountains, said Ted. So that's where they're going. See, it says the mall, the zoo, the beach, the mountains, or Pittsburgh. Okay, they're going to go to the mountains. When they got to the mountains, Ted skied all day and Fred skated all day. By night, both of them were very sleepy. And this is a small hotel. Look! What is this going to say? Oh, that's the well. Look, said Fred, a small hotel. Oh, gosh. Well, Fred's room was upstairs. Look at his small bed. Is he going to be able to fit in that bed? Ted's room was downstairs. Oh, my gosh, look at his bed. Good night, Ted. Sleep well, said Fred. Good night, Fred. Sleep well, said Ted. But they did not sleep well. Look at... Upstairs, Fred thumped and bumped and tossed and turned. Downstairs, Ted moaned and groaned and crashed and thrashed all over the bed. So the next morning, Fred said, my bed is too little. And my bed is too big, said Ted. I know what to do, said the bird. Ted should sleep upstairs and Fred should sleep downstairs. Smart. Back to bed, yelled Ted. Back to bed, yelled Fred. Ted jumped into the little bed upstairs, and Fred jumped into the big bed downstairs. They slept all day long in the cozy bed. Or Ted did. And Fred slept all day long in his cozy big bed. So there was the little bed for him, the big bed for him. Well, that was easy to do. Big dogs need big beds and little dogs need little beds. Why make big problems out of little problems? Simple, huh? I know. All right. Now I have to change to this one. This one is called the Sneeches, and other stories. I'm only going to read one story. It's illustrated by Dr. Seuss. It was copyrighted in 1961, and it was renewed in 1989 by Random House Children's Books. And I'm going to read you the Zax, Z-A-X. All right. I got to get a drink of water because I got the hiccups. Okay. One day, making tracks in the prairie of tracks, came a north-going Zax and a south-going Zax. Now, you guys, here's the thing that's so stupid. Look it, they have all of this land to walk. But, as it happened, both of them came to a place where they bumped. There they stood, foot to foot, face to face. Look here now, the north-going Zax said. I say, you are blocking my path. You are right in my way. I'm a north-going Zax, and I always go north. Get out of my way now and let me go north. Who's in whose way? Snapped the south-going Zax. I always go south, making south-going tracks. So you're in my way, and I ask you to move and let me go south in my south-going groove. Well, then the north-going Zax puffed his chest up and says, I never, he said, take a step to one side. I mean, how simple, take a step to one side. And I'll prove to you that I won't change my ways if I have to keep standing here 59 days. And I'll prove to you, yelled the south-going Zax, that I can stand here in the prairie of tracks for 59 years. For I live by a rule that I learned as a boy back in south-going school. Never budge. That's my rule. Never budge in the least. Not an inch to the west, not an inch to the east. I'll stay here not budging. And I can and I will. It makes you and me and the whole world stand still. This picture is priceless because there they are. Well, guess what? They built freeways around them, and they are still, in fact, they even call this the Zax bypass. They even have to go up and over because, of course, they can't move, right? Well, of course, the world didn't stand still. The world grew. In a couple of years, the new highway came through as they built it right over those two stubborn Zax and left them there standing unbudged in their tracks. Oh, my word, that is too much. I know, what can I say? Okay, now I'm going to read my favorite book. All right, let me get this down. And one of my books fell down. I have to pick that up. Okay. All right. Da-da-da-da. And I have to read you Horton Hatches an Egg. Now, if I read you Horton Hatches the Egg, what does Miss Tasha have to have on? Elephant ears and, are you ready? What else does Miss Tasha have to have? I have to have a trunk. Yeah. I have to have an elephant trunk. I know, what can I say? It's going to be interesting. I got to make sure that I can see over my nose. Okay, Horton Hatches the Egg. It's illustrated by Dr. Seuss. It's written in him and illustrated. It was in 1940. It's the fourth printing. The publisher is Random House Lithograph by Dual Print Group. Now, this is why this book is so important to me. Okay. My dad's name was Floyd. It was given to my dad from one of my mom's best friends, Vera, in 1944. And you will see why, because my dad was born many in 1912. He was born in Kenmare, North Dakota. And so the reason why she gave my dad this book, you will see as I read it. Now I have to be very careful because this is one very old book, but I love it. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird and hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored and I've got kinks in my leg from just sitting here day after day. It's work! How I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'll take a vacation. I'd fly out for a rest if I could only find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Just then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. Hello! Called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? The elephant laughed. Why, of all the silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you could do it, no trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I'll give you my word. I'll hurry right back. I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation? Go, fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and I'll be faithful. I meant what I say. Toodaloo! Sang our Maisie, and she flew away. Said Horton. The first thing to do, murmured Horton, is, let's see, the first thing is going to have to prop up the tree. And make it much stronger. That has to be because before I get on, I must weigh a ton. And he does, yes. So he's doing that. Okay, here we go. Then carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up on the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he sat all the day and kept the egg warm, and he sat all the night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightning, it thundered, it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. Oh, here she is. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach. And having such fun, such a wonderful rest, she decided she'd never go back to that nest. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn and the leaves blew away. And then came the winter and the snow and the sleet and the icicles hung looking at him. Oh my God. From his trunk and his feet, but Horton kept sitting and said with his knees, I said I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Well, so poor old Horton sat there the whole winter through, and when spring came, with trouble anew, his friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, look, Horton the elephant's up in a tree. They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, how absurd, oh, Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. They laughed, and then they all ran away, and Horton was lonely, he wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Uh-oh, look. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended, Poor old Horton's trouble were far, far from ended. For while Horton was there, so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. Oh no. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest and he looked at the hunters and as much as to say, shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. But the men didn't shoot. Much to Horton's surprise, they dropped down their guns and they stared with wide eyes. Look, they all shouted. Can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money. Oh my gosh, there he is. And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes up front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put him inside with Horton so sad he practically cried. We're off, the men shouted, and off they all went with Horton unhappy 100%. Now look at you guys. Look at, they're going over, oh my God, they're even going this tall mountain. Up out of the jungle and up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high. Then down, down the mountain, down to the sea, went the cart with elephant, eggs, nest, and tree. And then out of the wagon and onto a ship and over the ocean, and oh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashing with spray, and Horton said day after day after day, I meant what I said and I said what I meant, but oh, am I seasick, 100%. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant still on his perch, tied on a board that could just scarcely hold him. Boom! Horton landed, and then the men sold him. See, there they are. Oh, dear. Sold to a circus. Then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Washington, Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas. Now it really says to Drake, North Dakota, but my mom's friend crossed that off and put in Kenmare, where my dad was born. Wasn't that neat? Kenmare, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laughed at an elephant up in the tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he sat as he sat in the hot, noisy tent. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, and elephants faithful, 100%. Oh, my word. Guess who that is? I know. Then one day the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach. And dabbling a long way up in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by but that old good-for-nothing bird runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, "Woo, what fun! Well, I'll go to the show." And she swooped from the clouds through the open tent door. "Good gracious!" gasped Maisie. "I've seen you before." Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out a noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he had sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. My egg! Shouted Horton. My egg! Why, it's happy! It's hatching! And here's where the bad part gets. But it's mine! Screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But as that very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces, red and white shell, from the egg that he sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something that whizzed. It had ears, and a tail, and a trunk just like his. Oh my gosh, look at that. And the people came shouting, what's all this about? They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out, and they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word. It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. As it should be, it should be, it should be like that, because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him back home happy, 100%. Look at all the other animals. Isn't that a good story? Except, guys, Miss Tasha had trouble seeing with that trunk on my nose. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one goes off. Okay, I'm going to take this off too because it's killing me. All right. Now, that was going to be my last book. But Saturday, I went to the grocery store. No, I went Friday because it was bad on Saturday. And lo and behold, at Save Mart, here was Dr. Seuss's Thank You for Being Green and Speaking for the Trees. And it's a new book, and I thought, oh, I have to do this. It's from the Lorax who speaks for the trees, comes the perfect gift for anyone who cares a lot about the earth. And there are other ones. Dr. Seuss's You Are Kind, Every Voice Counts. I mean, yes, wonderful. Are you ready? Dr. Seuss's Thank You for Being Green and Speaking for the Trees. It's by Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright is 2021. The publisher is Random House Children's Book. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, gosh. This is what I have to do. Yes, I have to wear this hat, of course. The cat in the hat one, yes. Okay, here we go. And then you're going to dance. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. Thank you for being green. Thank you for thinking about helping the earth. You care about the trees, the air, and the water. You care about animals close to home and far away. You save energy by walking or biking when you can. You recycle. You clean up when others litter. I hope you do that, guys. You grow things. Because you are green, our future looks brighter. Thank you. Isn't that neat? Now, before we do our dance to Shake a Leg, I'm going to take this off now. All right, here is the challenge. The challenge this time is not for you. Your challenge is for your parents or your grandparents, your uncle, your aunt, because what I want them to do is I want you to ask them this question. What was your favorite book growing up? And I think it will be kind of neat when you find out what they really enjoyed. Here is a little snippet that I got from Costco magazine, and it said, here's their answers. Charlotte's Web. It started my love of books. Either the Boxcar Children or, and I have read this to you, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. The Little House on the Prairie series. I went from Great Expectations to Lord of the Rings. Huge leap, huh? A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. Watership Down. And Miss Tasha's, and I just might read it to you when I read in April. My favorite book, and when you see it, you're going to go, oh, Miss Tasha, you really did that to the book? Oh my gosh. It's called The Golden Egg book. That's my favorite when I was little. And then when I was a little older, it was Where the Red Fern Grows. Are you ready? You're gonna dance as I am reading this to you. All right, are you ready? Oh, wait a minute, shake a leg, shoot. Just a minute, hold it. Gotta make sure I have it right in case anybody I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, this one is, wouldn't you know it's the wrong one? All right, here we go. Okay, this one is Constance Allen, illustrated by Maggie Swanson. The original copyright was 1991 as a little golden book. Then it's published by the Sesame Workshop Random House. Are you ready? Are you ready to dance? Here we go. Is everybody ready? Well, shake a leg. I want you to shake a leg. I want you to honk your nose, honk your nose. You can do this. Okay, I want you to pat your head. Pat your head. All right, now I want you to waggle. And when I meant waggle, that means you just kind of move them all over the place. Waggle your fingers. Now you're going to, I have shoes on, but I still can do it. I want you to wiggle your toes. Can you wiggle your toes? Maybe you should take your shoes off and do that one. Okay, I want you to rub your tummy. Okay, I want you to jiggle your ears. That means, see, look at when I jiggle it. My wonderful purple earrings make sounds. Okay, jiggle your ears. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, oh, flap your elbows. That's an easy one to do. Everybody can flap your elbows, okay? Now shrug your shoulders. Try to get all the way up to your ears. Shrug your shoulders, shrug your shoulders. Good. Okay. Swing your arms. Okay. If you can do the floss or whatever it is, good luck. Miss Tasha can't do it. Now, here's the next one. You have to pay attention. You're going to touch your ankles. So you're going to bend over and you're going to touch your ankles, not your toes, your ankles, okay? You're going to knock your knees. That's a fun one to do too, knock your knees. And then you're going to kick up your heels. Kick up your heels. But don't run into anybody or kick anybody. All right, ready? On the count of 3, you're going to make a muscle. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ha! Like the Hulk, okay? And then you're going to twist your waist. This was a dance that Miss Tasha knew when she was in high school because that's when the twist was on. And then, to say goodbye, you can close your eyes and take a rest. That's it. And of course, in April, it's going to be Easter. And so I have some fun things you're going to dance at the Easter one. All right, I hope you have a good March, and I will see you in April.